afternoon and welcome back to the Ultimate Racing League and your GrTwosdays Championship here with the Pro-Am League guys at the Deep Forest Raceway, one of the oldest tracks on the game. Despite being a fictional track, it has been on the Gran Turismo race catalogue since its inception, the game's inception, back in the late 90s. Gran Turismo 1, when it came out, this track was on there. It has undergone a slight alteration since for Gran Turismo 7. The previous inceptions of it, I believe, had a couple of less corners. But nevertheless, the concept is still the same. So this is the Pro-Am League guys in the GrTwosdays Championship, and they will be taking you round the Deep Forest Raceway for the next 37 laps. Should be around a 50-minute race, and we shall see how they get on. Let's just run down through the grid after their qualifying, and when we'll get the race underway. So on pole, we have Triano Motorsport, a newcomer to pole position. He's obviously a fan of this track and comfortable around here, and he's put in the fastest lap. In second place, we have Shadow, our current championship leader, I believe, as well. He's popped in second, which is great to see. In third place, we have a wildcard entry, E. Bloomfield. He's just stepping in to fill a slot this afternoon, and he will be in the Honda NSX GT500. And he's qualified in third. In fourth, we have HKRT Canados. He's had a rotten run of results of late. A few incidents that he's been unfortunately involved in, despite showing really promising speed. So I'm sure he'll be keen to get back to the top 3 places. He's qualified in fourth, so he's just off of those at the start of the race, but I'm sure he'll be battling hard to stick it on the podium or better. In fifth, we've got GT Mac, also in the NSX GT500. And then we have our host, Grahamid Ali. Thank you to Grahamid for sharing the replays as well. It allows me to bring you the commentary. In seventh place, we have P. White. Great stuff from P. White. HKRT Speed Demon in 8th. 9th, we have Vane. 10th, we have Carlsberg. In 11th, we have HKRT Paris. Sai is in 12th. And then at the back of the grid, I think he'll be very disappointed with 13th place Will Pablo. He was a close runner to the championship last season. He finished second or third, I believe. But unfortunately, he's not able to replicate that level of pace around here. So let's get this race underway. As the klaxon goes, the lights go out, and Triano Motorsport takes us off down to turn 1. And we'll see if everyone gets through nice and cleanly. And it looks like, oh, we got Vane going round. We got what's happened to Vane. Let's go back and have a little look, see what's going on with Vane. Yeah, I think he's got a nudge from the back. Oh no, he's just. Oh, it looks like he got a little nudge, but then the car was under control. Let's just have another look. So I think Carlsberg gives him a little nudge there. But the car is back under control. Oh, he just gets on heavy on the throttle, and that spins him round. Really unfortunate stuff there from Vane. It's just a shame that he's obviously made that mistake. He shows a lot of promise, and then obviously makes those errors. So we're back up with the rest of the field. You can see on the mini-map Vane dropping right off the back of the field. The train of cars from 1st to 12th all going through into the second part of the lap, and now just coming around the fast the 90-degree left-hander onto the back straight. So crucial to not do that. So crucial to get a good exit off onto this straight, as it can you can lose so much time. And we now have Bloomfield and Shadow going neck and neck down the straight into the final hairpin. And Bloomfield's got the inside line, he holds that line. Shadow just holding the outer line, and Canados getting all the oversteer there and not able to capitalise on the battle in ahead. And now Bloomfield has taken the lead of this race. Important to note, as a wild card, he will not be taking any points from this race. but nevertheless he'll still want to show what he's capable of. But Shadow now tucked into his slipstream, coming down to turn 1, and they come into the braking zone. He's not close enough to send one up the inside, so he'll have to hold station there and just sit in behind as we go down through the weave-in next section. Now as we do that, I'll just have a little blip down through, make sure that everybody has gone through safely. Pablo having a little look at P White there, nothing doing. It's really hard sections overtaking. So yeah, no overtaking there, but now Shadow's dropping off the back of Bloomfield and now has Canados for company right on his rear end. And I think unless Shadow could get a decent exit out of this left-hander coming up onto that back straight, Canados is going to be making a move. And Canados he's got a much better exit, and he's side by side already. We're not even out of the first tunnel, and Canados is looking to get that move done. And he does, he pulls to the inside, but now that is a benefit to Shadow, as Shadow now picks up the slipstream, and they're coming down into the braking zone for the first hairpin. Can Shadow do anything about it? No, he can't. He's going to hold station. That might be a tactical decision from Shadow, because he's now going to get the slipstream all the way down the home straight, which will potentially give him the opportunity to make a move under braking in turn 1. But I think he's got he's struggled on the exit of the hairpin there, and he's dropped back, and I don't think he's going to have I don't think he's going to be close enough to do anything about Canados, and Canados has secured that move. So Canados, as I said in the run through of the grid, as Shadow goes wide there, he might pick up a half second. I don't know whether he just kept it on the green bit of tarmac or not. No, he did pick up a half second time penalty for that. That's really unfortunate, and that's going to drop him probably down a place, because when they come along that back straight, the penalty zone is right as you start hitting peak speed, and it just absolutely robs you of that and all momentum going down into the hairpin. Oh, we've lost somebody there. There was somebody in the barrier. Let's go back and have a little look, see what happened there. There was definitely somebody in the barrier. Oh, it's GT Mac. GT Mac the cameraman's asleep, so I'm not really sure what we're supposed to be watching there, as GT Mac has there he is. Yeah, so he's got all the oversteer there, and obviously put it in the barrier. Not that the cameraman wanted us to see. Cameraman saving his blushes, so it's added insult to injury. He's got a half second time penalty, has his vein behind him, and these two are now well off the back of the pack, and they're going to struggle to bridge that gap back up. There's a long way to go, but that is a big ask to drag themselves back into the race, as Bloomfield now comes down across the around the last turn to the start finish straight, first start finish line, sorry, and got a bit of breathing space out in front. Canados just trying to latch back onto Bloomfield at the front of the field, and Shadow dropping back a little bit after his half second time penalty, but he didn't lose this place to Motorsport, which I would imagine might have meant that Toronto Motorsport did pick up a time penalty as well. Carlsberg comes through in 5th, Speed Demon in 6th, in the first of the Lexuses, with Pablo Jr. in 7th, and Muhammad Ali giving him some company in 8th. Pablo Jr. making moves early on. He's dragged himself up to 7th place from the back of the grid, so I wonder if perhaps he had some issues in qualifying which prevented him from maximising the performance of that car. And Sai then with Perez for company there in 9th and 10th, and GT Mac. P White off the bat. Oh, P White has been into the pits. The P White has got rid of his hard compound tyres. I think he must have started on, and well, just I'll go back and have a little look, see what he did indeed. Yeah, he came in on the hard tyres, and he's now out on the mediums. So back up to the front, we've got Bloomfield now streaking off into the distance on those soft tyres. Canados also on the softs, but not able to match the pace of Bloomfield up ahead. And Shadow there in 3rd. Bit of a lonely beginning of the race now for these three guys. We've had some really close battling in this league over the last few races, but it's looking a bit spread out at the moment. Carlsberg there in 4th, Speed Demon in 5th, Pablo in 6th. Grahamid in 7th, Sai in 8th, Toronto Motorsport down in 9th now as a result of pitting to get rid of hard compound tyres for him as well. and he's back out on the softs with P. White in the 10th. Perez coming out onto the track from hards to mediums, and GT Mac is in the pits getting rid of the hards, and he's coming back out, and he will be on the medium tyres as well, so perhaps going for a one stop. Here, I'm not sure how long they last. I don't think, actually no, he's not going to be able to do a one stop. Those medium tyres are not likely to hold on for the rest, the remaining 32 laps of this race, so there will be another stop for GT Mac. I would imagine when the pit stop starts to happen for these guys up in front, when the soft tyres start to really wear out, we could potentially see some bunching up and some battling for position on track. But at the moment we're quite spread out. Canados putting in the fastest lap of the race though, looking to try and close in on Bloomfield up ahead, but that's a bit of a task at this stage of the race. Bloomfield seems to be absolutely at ease up out in front. Not setting the world alight with his lap times, but they are consistent, so perhaps he's just trying to nurse those soft tyres to maintain that same pace throughout a longer stint, which could give him an advantage going forward, and also managing the fuel. So not as well as Canados though. Canados does have slightly better fuel, but Canados has slightly worse tyres. Looking at that front left and rear right in particular, they are slightly heavily worn. Slightly heavier worn than Bloomfield up ahead. Shadow, of course, on the mediums, doing well to keep the two in front in sight on those soft tyres. Doing well to find that pace in the medium on the medium tyre. Carlsberg also doing the same on that medium tyre and maintaining a half decent pace there as well. The rest of the field, so mediums to Speed Demon, Muhammad Ali on the hard compound tyre, so not doing too badly at this stage. We know he likes a long stint on the hard tyre, does Grahamid, and perhaps that is his approach for this race as well. Asai then also on the mediums. Pablo now with Toronto Motorsport for company along the start finish straight. Toronto Motorsport dives to the inside and under braking. He's going to get that move done. Fresher soft tyres, and Pablo Jr.'s picked up a half-second time penalty, but I don't think he's going to be giving up on the position that easily, as he's looking to latch onto the back of Toronto. Now he's gone through, but it does look like Toronto Motorsport has the edge as he's starting to already stretch his legs, and the gap already opening up in just a couple of corners. Perhaps he feels a lot more comfortable in that car around this track than Pablo does. Would be indicated by the fact he did stick it on pole, so he's clearly got some decent pace underneath him. Having also pitted as well, with Pablo Jr. having not stopped yet as well, so he's going to serve his half-second time penalty. It's going to drop him further back from Toronto Motorsport. P. White is still a long way back, having stopped as well, and Perez also having stopped further back. They've now got Vane and Vane for company, but Vane yet to stop to get off of those soft tyres, I believe. GT Mac at the back of the field, having stopped. So that is so these strategies are going to start to unfold as the laps start to tick down, and we might see very different field to positions on the field compared to what we're seeing now. As Muhammad Ali still has Sai keeping tabs on him. Sai on the faster compound tyres, so have a little bit more pace through better braking from better grip on the tyres. Better grip through the corner, and then able to get on the power sooner on the exit without spinning up. So by the virtue of the better compound tyre, just sort of sticking to the track a little bit better and giving you that extra grip. bit of a placid race so far. These guys have put on a bit of a show for us in previous races, wheel-to-wheel battles and bumper-to-bumper battles through corners and different things, and this one seems to be spreading the field out, so we could be in for a bit of a practical display from some of these drivers, exploring the different possibilities of strategy on the track, and hopefully hoping not to make any mistakes. Oh, he might pick up. Oh no, you've got to go on to the track. Limit penalties can be a bit of a nightmare around here, can be a bit difficult to navigate your way around. There's lots of areas where you can exploit a little bit and really maximise the time that you can take out of a lap, but it's very easy to just run slightly too wide and pick up a half second here and a half second there, and the lines are very fine margins. Cracking livery, that Repsol Honda livery on the NSX there is iconic, from the MotoGP realm. Really, not really seen on many race cars, if any. I don't think, but it's looking great on the NSX in this championship. As Carlos in the Nissan GTR is trying, and I think he is gradually creeping in onto the back of Bloomfield. He's certainly pushing. Look at his lap times though. He's dipped into the 20s to get that fastest lap of the race, but relatively inconsistent compared to what we're used to seeing from Canados. And in comparison with Bloomfield, not quite as consistent at all, because Bloomfield managing some really consistent laps there. As sort of said before, you can see the tyre degradation sort of coming in with the consistency of the lap times. You can see it gradually dropping, the time increasing lap on lap through degradation rather than driver error. And Bloomfield absolutely smashing it out of the park at the moment in first place. But Canados is still there or thereabouts. Not quite as quick lap times, 22.1 and a 21.8 for Bloomfield, so further four, well, just under 4/10 stretched out by Bloomfield there. So it looks like he's got this under control, managing his pace, tyres and fuel. Canados trying to do the same, but also not letting him get away. And Shadow just sitting there on the medium tyres. I wonder if he's going to try and take these as far as he possibly can, and then either go a longer stint on the hards, or come in, do the minimum 3 laps on the hard tyres, and then whack a set of softs on to finish. That would be a potential strategy choice for him. But those lap times really matching Canados up ahead on the softer compound tyre as well. You got 21.9, 22.1 and 22.5. Very, very similar lap times compared to Canados, and almost matching Bloomfield out in front. And that's some impressive times on that medium compound tyre for Shadow. Look forward to seeing what he can do on the softs if he indeed does decide to take them on. Carlsberg doing something similar on those mediums. The mediums, I think, are quite strong right here. They do hold up really, really well and maintain performance for much, much longer. And the difference in the time on the compounds, I don't think is as dramatic as it is at other tracks. The softs really not providing a huge delta compared to the mediums. So B Demon also doing some making good use of those mediums. The lap times not too far off the guys ahead, but he has had a bit of a moment on lap 10 by the look of it. Oh crikey, he's picked up a 1.5 second time penalty there. That's going to be for a multitude of corners, I'd imagine. And that is going to absolutely destroy this lap for him, and that is going to, well, he's going to lose positions to Grahamid and Trianor behind him. But Trianor Motorsport also now having a look. He's Grahamid's gone defensive on the inside. Grahamid, oh thank goodness, a ghost in. I'm not sure what that looked like on Grahamid's screen, but he's lost the position to Trianor as a result. And if it weren't for ghosting, Speed Demon, I mean, Speed Demon did everything right. It was off the racing line. Obviously, it just looked a little bit dramatic because it wasn't a visible ghosting from that angle from the cameraman. So, Muhammad Ali down to 6th, Trianor Motorsport up into 5th on those soft tyres, and well, arguably making much better use of those softs than the guys leading this race. Lower lap times indeed for Trianor Motorsport, and he's a man on the move. Started on the hard compound tyre and now looking to really exploit the softs to see what he can do. And so Speed Demon had a dodgy lap 10. I'm not sure, something must have happened. He lost over a second on lap 10 compared to his regular times. And then we just seen what happened to him on lap 12. And he's now going to have Sai for company for good measure. Although Sai had a rough lap 12, previous lap as well, it dropped a couple of seconds. So some mistakes happening throughout the field, and it's really throwing things up in the air for what we would expect to see as the positions. As Sai now tucked in behind HKRT Speed Demon and in the tow, pulls out of the tow and tries to under brake in, but Speed Demon late on the brakes. And just holds on to that position, but Sai is now going to have that slipstream all the way across the start-finish line into turn 1. So is he going to be able to make a move under brakes into turn 1? We'll stick with them. Let's have a little look as they come around the final turn. Across the start-finish line. And Sai is much closer, so he's going to have to pull out that slipstream. Is he going to do it late? No, he is going to stay there. He's just going to sit in behind. Perhaps strategic there from Sai. I did think he was going to have the momentum there to have a lunge, but perhaps Speed Demon has just got the edge on him on the brakes, and well, Sai just kicking up a bit of dirt there, got a bit offline, and that's given Speed Demon a bit of breathing space, as will that oversteer there from Sai. Just giving Speed Demon a bit of a time to relax and just settle his head down a little bit and focus on what he's doing rather than what Sai's doing. But Sai's going to want to try and close in sooner rather than later. But he's going to have, he's still going to have the slipstream, but Speed Demon's going to be picking up that slipstream from Grahamid up in front. So that is going to nullify the gain for Sai. But they both could start closing in on Grahamid. And they're not, none of them quite close enough to be making a move, but it does look like they're closing in. As Bloomfield now finally comes into the pits with Canados to take on a fresh set of tyres. Bloomfield coming out. Canados. Oh, so Canados is okay. Right, let's go back and have a little look, because Canados has gotten ahead of Bloomfield in the pits. So I wonder if something happened to Bloomfield, because maybe they just took on slightly different fuel loads. So let's have a little look. Bloomfield coming in with 4% less fuel. Tires going on. And the fuel going in. So Canados has taken on much less fuel. The Bloomfield taking on, nearly not far off a full tank for this set of softs. So perhaps he's, this is definitely going to be strategic. So he's come out on the hard tyres. Now, is he going to try and go to the end of the race on that fuel and with those tyres? We shall have to see, because that is that's interesting. That's certainly throwing the cat amongst the pigeons for this race. Canados has come out on the hard tyres as well, but I don't think that level of fuel is going to be enough to get him to the end of the race. So we could see Carlos having to stop again, whereas Bloomfield won't have to. But Bloomfield may stay on the slower compound tyre for the race, and Carlos could end up coming out on a set of softs. That could be an interesting battle come the end of the race, because they could, well, if they keep it clean, they could well be coming together quite late on in the race to battle for position with a very big offset on compounded tyre. But as we speak, so Shadow has inherited the lead of this race. He's maintaining some strong lap times on those that medium compound tyre, and he's certainly breaking away from Carlsberg now a little bit. They were looking a little bit closer last time we came through to them. Carlsberg is obviously now in second place. Shadow has a bit more fuel, so that's going to be playing into his strategy. And Toronto Motorsport is not far behind. And he's already stopped to go on to the soft tyres, but he's already got rid of the hards. So when he comes in again, all he needs to do is go on to softs or mediums, whereas the two guys ahead do have to come in for hard compound tyres. And, well, they'll have the option of doing 3 laps. I would imagine they wouldn't do any more than 3 if they're going to do another stop after, and then coming out onto the softs, or going to the end on the hard tyres. But, well, we shall have to see. But Muhammad Ali there in 5th with Speed Demon for company. I think has he made a move on Speed Demon, or is either way, Speed Demon is Muhammad Ali's picked up a second time penalty. Speed Demon pulls out of the slipstream and he's going along the side of him. Muhammad Ali is going to have to serve that penalty at the next lap, because that won't, and Muhammad Ali looking to go at the inside to get that place back, but he's not going to manage it from there. And Speed Demon's got the place done well before the hairpin there. Great stuff from Speed Demon as we go back, and Bloomfield is side battling it out. Bloomfield picking up a half-second time penalty, so he was running away with this race out in front early doors, but he's going to be having a half-second break coming along the back straight on this lap, and Sai is going to have that in his sights, so he's going to try and stick as close as he can with Bloomfield through this middle section of the lap, given that slipstream and that place on the back straight. But it looks like Muhammad Ali and Speed Demon are still battling out. Muhammad Ali not willing to give this one up. Again, he's the other way round really here. He's going to be trying to stick to Speed Demon as best he can to benefit from that slipstream down the back straight before he serves that time penalty, to try and minimise the amount of time he's going to lose with that penalty. But that penalty is going to put him into the a second. He's picked up another half second. He will get to serve the whole second time penalty now though, and that is definitely going to put him back with Bloomfield and Sai. So this is going to be a 3-way battle down into the hairpin as they all three will come together. Not quite as close as I thought it might be. Muhammad Ali managed to negate that second penalty better than I expected, but Sai is now tucked in behind Bloomfield, and he's going to be in that tow and looking to try and make a move into turn 1, I would imagine. Although he doesn't quite look close enough from that angle. I think Bloomfield will live to fight another day in 7th place there, and he does, or does he? As Sai goes up the inside, Sai holding that inside line with Bloomfield all the way around the outside, and Sai does have just sitting behind. Bloomfield carried the speed on the outside line. The camber coming into effect from that turn and just keeping him ahead as he negates the pressure there from Sai really well, and he's gonna still have Sai for company going into that back straight. The hard compound tyre not being his friend at this stage in the race, and Bloomfield is going to have him all over the back of him. As Muhammad Ali up ahead is just dropping off the back of Speed Demon by virtue of that last lap second time penalty and Speed Demon's apparent pace. Sai not able to close in onto the back of Bloomfield. There he's not quite got the exit. Bloomfield just seems to be able to hook the exit up a little bit better than Sai, and that's given him that edge just to keep him out of the risk of an overtake from the slipstream, as Muhammad Ali just keeps his head down and maintaining that gap to the guys behind him. Speed Demon just taking a little bit defensive line, doesn't want Graham to be picking up too much slipstream to bring him back into contention. So he's just looking to preserve that place. So P White on the medium tyres came in off of the hards early on. He's down in 9th place. I think he's going to be coming into play as... Oh, we've got a spinner. Got a spinner on the back end of the track. Oh, it's Pablo. Pablo coming out of the last hairpin, and he's... I think he's probably just got on the power a little bit too early. Have a look at his inputs. And there's the power, the traction control kicking in, and it's spun him round. Really unfortunate there for Pablo, and he's off the bat. He's only just come in to get onto those hards by the look of it. About 3 laps ago, and that has certainly spoiled any strategy he may have had, and he's having a rotten race. Oh, he comes into the pit, so he's getting rid of those hard tires. The Shadow goes deep. Let's go back, let's have a little look. Shadow is he's on for a personal best lap time here, and just into that hairpin, he's just got that wrong as well by the look of it. Oh yeah, he's carried way too much speed into there. Did he keep it on the red and white curb on those left tyres? If not, he's going to have a half-second time penalty to contend with. He's gone away with it, so he just managed to keep his tyres on that red and white curb, and well, he can live to fight another day. Carlsberg comfortably behind, but that has cost him about a second. Yeah, about a second time there. Carlsberg just maintaining just behind. And Toronto Motorsport, with those soft tyres going off rapidly, they are going to be, as you can see there from the lap time pace, those tyres are hurting. And fuel level is dropping as well, so he is going to be having to come in at the end of this lap. Canados with Pablo behind. Pablo picking up a 3-second time penalty there. Must be for the exit of the pits. He's all over the back of Canados, trying to unlap himself, which of course you're allowed to do. You just got to make sure you can keep it clean when you do it, and also maintain that. Otherwise, you end up risking affecting the guy ahead's pace, and obviously he's going to lose that fight when he hits that time penalty window now. Just into the entry of the second tunnel, and that is going to drop him out of contention for that battle to unlap himself, and he's going to have to settle down. So we got Carlsberg into the pits to get off of those medium tyres, down on fuel. Toronto Motorsport also in for his second stop, so he's still in contention for a potential race win. Speed Demon also in, so we have Shadow out in front, still on the medium, still with fuel left, possibly for another lap after this one, although I highly doubt it. I expect him to be coming in, but we shall see. His lap times only just dipping into the 23 ones. Obviously he lost a second through that mistake out of the hairpin on the last lap, so I wonder if he'll probably just drag that lap time back here, although if he dives into the pits we won't get to see that as he comes along the back straight there. Canados just coming onto the back straight, so with those pit stops, Shadow is comfortably leading this race almost by the entire length of that back straight. Canados has already stopped to get onto the hard tyres, so that is going to be a stint done. Graham Ali is still going on the hard tyres, but Graham is going to be coming in as Bloomfield is now battling with Sai. Oh no, it's not Sai, it's Pablo. So Pablo has served his time penalty and he's now trying to unlap himself from Bloomfield. Shadow into the pits then. Canados is going for another lap on the hards. Muhammad Ali is going for another lap on the hards. He must have enough fuel. Bloomfield there on the hards is now going to inherit third place. And Shadow taking on just under half a tank, so he's going to be going to the end on what compound tire? Soft. So is he going to try and take? He must do. He's going to try and take these softs 15 laps, 16 laps. That is going to be a tough ask right here. That is going to be a very tough ask, but we'll see what he can do. PY, oh, we got yellow flags. Where are the yellow flags? Who have we lost? Who's pointing the wrong way? Yellow flags have cleared. Let's go back, let's have a little look where they might have been. Can't see anything. Oh, well, whatever it was. Oh no, hang on, I see somebody. Oh, it's Bloomfield. Bloomfield's lost it on the middle section there, coming under the tunnel on the hard tires. So perhaps he's just been caught out by the lack of grip. Oh, that's thrown him offline, and that's gonna, yeah, he's picked up the grass, and well, the cameraman's struggling to. We need to get some new cameramen. I mean, this is appalling. That's twice now we've watched empty track when somebody has spun, and well, they need to have a word with themselves. Perhaps do some training. Unbelievable. But Bloomfield will be glad we didn't see all of that. And he spun, and well, he's now got Shadow for company. Shadow having already stopped. Bloomfield was comfortably leading this race at the beginning, but that has unravelled his race quite substantially, and now Shadow on the softs behind him is a man on a mission. Still got the, he's still got the hard tyres to go. Actually, he's on the mediums, so he's gonna, I think he's gonna have to do the hard tyres at the end, 3 laps on the hards at the end of this race, so he will be able to take these softs up until that point. He's struggling at the moment to get that power down though, as Muhammad Ali now comes in with a half-second time penalty. Penalties all over the shop here, and he's going to be coming off those hards, I'd imagine, going on to the mediums, unless he thinks he can take the softs. They're at 15 laps. He's going to be putting the fuel in, so let's get back up to the top. So we've got Canados on the hard tyres, Bloomfield also on the hard tyres, both going to probably be coming in again, I'd imagine, with the pace of those tyres. And the fuel level, certainly for Canados. Canados has made a mistake there, he's got a bit of damage. Where is he picking that up? Oh, just on the exit of the turn underneath the tunnel there, and he's given the barrier one hell of a clout, and that's giving him some damage to contend with. Bloomfield, well, he could be going to the end. I think he's got plenty of fuel to get him to the end, but those hard tyres are going to be hurting him. Shadow still has to stop again. The Shadow is going to want to clear Bloomfield as quickly as possible, but he's struggling at the minute, and well, which is a surprise considering the difference in the tyres there, but Shadow really struggling to get that power down. And as we said, PY, so the strategy is coming into play, and PY, he was right at the back, towards the back of the grid, having stopped really early on the higher compound tyre to put the mediums on, and well, he's up to 4th now, and we already know the guys ahead have to stop again. I do think, looking at that, PY will have to stop again, as Canados now comes in to get rid of those hard tyres and take on a bit of fuel. Speed Demon is, well, Paris is also making good use of his strategy, similar to P. White's as well, and he's up in behind Speed Demon now. Speed Demon on the hard tyres, probably looking to go to the end, I would imagine, as Paris dives to the inside. The difference in the tyre compounds showing their hand there, and he's got that move done nice and easily up the inside of Speed Demon, and Paris is up to 4th. That strategy of hards and then medium, and Pablo span again. We're not going to go back and have a look. We'll leave him to settle down and get himself back up and running. He's having a rotten race, is Pablo Jr. And well, P. White then into the barrier as well. Mistake from P. White, and he's got damage, which is going to drag him all the way down. As Shadow is now finally, let's just blip back and have a look where this move got done, as Shadow has got past Bloomfield. They come under the tunnel towards the fast downhill right left S's into the left-hander onto the back straight, and Shadow is going to get this move done, I think, under... Oh no, Bloomfield's gone wide! So that's how Shadow got it done before the back straight. I think Bloomfield is likely to pick up a penalty there. No, so he's obviously gotten out of the throttle enough and saved himself a penalty as well. But Shadow is now comfortably into the lead of this race. He still has to stop for hard tyres, whereas Bloomfield doesn't have to stop again. And that could be the undoing. Shadow is going to have to get his head down and really focus to try and pull away and make sure that as Bloomfield comes in off the hard tyres. So Bloomfield not going to the end on the hard tyres. He's going to come out on softs. So could that still bring these two close together at the end of this race? When Shadow comes in for hards, Bloomfield is going to be coming out on really fast soft tyres, fresh soft tyres. That could bring them together. We'll have to watch this space on that one. That's Paris then in third, with GT Mac further behind. I was going to say with GT Mac for company, but it's Pablo Jr. who has been lapped, that is just sticking to the rear end of Paris, who has inherited third place. Both PY and Paris could go to the end if their fuel let them. I don't think they've got enough fuel, so they're going to be coming in for a set of soft tyres and a splash of fuel, I think. This could all come together towards the end. Soft tyres for Canados. The only one that definitely doesn't have to stop. He's taken on enough fuel, and he's on softs. Those will take him to the end of this race. The Canados could be the big winner here. GT Mac is going to have to come into the pits at the end of this lap, unless he's got just a smidgen enough fuel, just enough fuel to get him to the end of the next lap. We'll see in a second. Carlsberg running high earlier, and he's out on a set of mediums. I thought he was on mediums before, so unless he's running two sets of mediums and then three laps on the hards at the end, we'll have to wait and see. Sure, he was on the so where are we? Just coming up to the start of lap 26. Let's go and have a look, see what his pit stop was like. A little bit further back by the look of it. Yeah, so he was on mediums when he came into the pits. So he's gone back out on the mediums. So that's going to be I'm not so sure that's going to be the fastest strategy, but we'll certainly see as Carlsberg now comes out, back where we were across the line to start lap 26. Yeah, well, watch this space as P. White comes in for his final stop. Surely he's going to be coming out on soft tyres, and I would expect to see Paris coming in as well in the next lap or so to get on a fresh set of soft tyres. But Shadow out in front, stretching his legs. Where is Bloomfield? So Bloomfield is back in sixth. So Shadow just onto the back straight. Shadow just in the middle part of the twisty section. So that is quite a gap. I think Shadow will have the edge when he comes in for the hard tyres towards the end of this race at this stage. But that does remain to be seen. Bloomfield also behind Canados on track, and that is a definite. So neither of those two have to stop again. So at the moment, potentially net leader is Canados, with Bloomfield, I believe, to be net third place, with Carlsberg still having to stop. GT Mac now coming into the pits, and Paris will be coming into the pits at the end of the next lap, looking at his fuel. So Shadow, if Shadow is going to win this race, he's going to have to outperform Canados, and Canados is, I don't think he's got enough of a lead at this stage to come out ahead of Canados. So all the this is going to be interesting when the guys come in for their final stops. As P. White closing in on the back of Speed Demon on those fresh soft tyres. Now Speed Demon on softs as well. This is like for like, so this is down to pure pace of those cars. And it looks like P. White is looking to try and get a hustle on. Although Speed Demon goes purple into sector 1. Speed Demon is looking to try and ensure that PY doesn't get that opportunity for that slipstream on the back straight. As it comes towards the end of lap 27, so after this lap, 10 laps to go. And, well, this is going to be an interesting finish to this race. So let's just have a little blip down and through the field. So we've got Shadow leading the race. We've got Perez currently in second. He's going for another lap. He must have enough fuel. So he's going to be coming out on soft tyres. I wonder if that is a strategical error, because the soft tyres will last longer than 10 laps. And those mediums look like they're hurting him on lap time. He's into the 23s. So maybe, well, far be it for me to judge, but that would be costing him time, I think. I think he could have come in on that lap to get those soft tyres on a little bit earlier. But Canados then in third place, our current net leader, I believe, without the full range of Delta in front of me. Hopefully Pablo doesn't hold him up too much under those blue flags. He should be able to get that move cleanly done along here. So Pablo moves to the inside of the track, allowing Canados to take him under blue flags. Hopefully Pablo does just sit in behind and allows Canados to get on with his race, because we could be he could be affecting the race leader if he does try to battle him. No, he doesn't, so he just holds the fort there as Bloomfield now closing in onto the back of Carlsberg. Carlsberg on those mediums, we know he's got to stop again as Perez does finally come into the pits. So that is going to give us our positions. So Carlsberg, he's got to come in for the hards, which will be 3 laps for the end. Bloomfield is all over the back of him on those soft tyres. Carlsberg goes defensive. Bloomfield is going to have to go around the outside if he's going to take that position on track. And Carlsberg just backs out of it. I think he realised that it wasn't his race and just let Bloomfield go. Carlsberg focusing on his own race, looking to try and maximise his own points. And then we got Toronto Motorsport, and a little bit disappointing really from Toronto Motorsport, but it looked like he had some really strong pace on those soft tyres. We know that he's going to be going to the end on the mediums because he started on the hard compound, but that pace has just ebbed away, and whether he got the strategy wrong or what it was, he's not really been in contention at the front end of the field, despite having pole position. So a bit of a shame really. With Canados not needing to stop again, Bloomfield not needing to stop again, the only ones above in front of him we know need to stop are Shadow and Carlsberg. I don't think he's close enough to either. He's close enough to Carlsberg, so fourth place on the track I think is Toronto Motorsport. I don't think he's got enough. I think Shadow has got enough in hand to at least secure a podium. As it starts to unfold into the final part of this race. P. White then slowly, quietly going about his business out on those soft tyres, looking rapid as well, and his lap time's coming down. Well, I mean, how's that for consistency for you? 21.4 and a 3.4 and a 21.417. Can't complain about that. Speed Demon also on the softs. Not quite matching the lap times of P. White up ahead. Perez out on fresh softs in 8th place. And Muhammad Ali, after that long stint on the hard compound tyre, which we know he loves a stint on the hard compound tyre, but I've got to be honest, I'd like to see him really exploit the other compounds of tyre, because I don't think running long on the hards in any of these races in these cars, with the tyre degradation set as it is I don't think longer running on hards really makes an awful lot of sense. He's got a lot of pace as Gramid, but the strategy does seem to be letting him down a little bit. Last season he was up in amongst the podium places. This season he's not really caught fire, and we've seen a few races where those longer stints on the hards have been decided by Gramid, and I think perhaps he needs to have a little chat with his race engineer and give him a little bit of a word to have a look at the data and try something different going forward. GT Mac in 10th after his earlier spin. Again, it just sort of backs up what I was saying about Muhammad Ali. He's got GT Mac for company, and GT Mac is spun. And GT Mac doesn't have to stop again, I don't think. So that is for position. Pablo Jr. and Sai both having been lapped. I think Sai must have had a absolute mare somewhere, because he's behind Pablo Jr. Not sure what's happened to Sai, but he's dropped a lap somewhere, and he was up battling with Mohammed. So that's an interesting one. Anyway, we're back up to the front of the field with Shadows now coming in for... Oh, he's got to come in because of fuel. No, he's not been able to take those soft tyres as long as he perhaps would have hoped. Now, where is he going to come out? The Canados now coming round the final turn. Fuel not even going into Shadow's car. The Shadow definitely down into second. Canados definitely the leader of this race on track and in the classification. And Bloomfield now coming across start-finish line. Fuel stopped going into Shadow's car, and he's just coming out, and he does lose that position to Shadow. And he is on the hard tyres as well, so I think that is first, second and third pretty much sewn up. I don't think, no, so Bloomfield isn't close enough to Canados unless Canados makes a mistake. Bloomfield has easily got the measure of Shadow, I think, being on those soft tyres. Shadow on the hards. And obviously Carlsberg, we know, has to come in for hard tyres before the end of this race, so there is another stop to be had there, even if he does get the move done on Shadow. So that is your podium, and barring any major mistakes, I think we're going to have a Canados, Bloomfield, a Shadow, 1, 2, 3, and Canados will be glad of that. After obviously I said on the grid, he's had real strong pace, just been involved in some really unfortunate incidents, but he's quietly gone about his business today, and he's got that strategy on point and is comfortably leading this race, and with the fastest lap as well. So that will be a welcome breath of fresh air for him, as long as he can hold on. Bloomfield then in second as a wild card entry, but he's definitely broken the challenge of Shadow behind him, and Shadow just spending off Carlsberg. I don't think he needs to really stress too much, as we know, like I said, we know Carlsberg has to come in again. Whether the engineers have passed that on to Shadow, you'd like to think they would, but if they haven't, if they have and he's still fighting that position, I'd definitely be inclined to let him go, and just focus on securing third place, because Toronto Motorsport is on mediums, not far behind the two of them, and well, if Toronto Motorsport could string some laps together, he could put a challenge on Shadow come the end of this race. P. White in 6th, also with on the softs, but I think he's far too far back to be making a challenge on the guys ahead, although the lap time consistency is there. It's marginally quicker than Toronto Motorsport, so they could come together by the end of this race, as Carlsberg sends it out the inside, but he gets it a little bit wrong, and he's just going to have to sit in behind Shadow again, and Toronto Motorsport is getting all the more closer whilst Shadow is defending that position from Carlsberg. Again, sort of just backing up, just let him go and sit in his toe, I think, is probably what I would say. But there we go. It's different when you're on track, as we all know. But Toronto Motorsport is definitely getting closer, definitely inching in, and P. White has got Toronto Motorsport, I think, in his sights, almost on the same part of the track there, and wow, this is starting to come together. B Demon a little bit further back. I don't think he's going to have a challenge from behind or challenge anyone up ahead, and neither will HKRT Paris, I don't believe, in these last 5 laps. GT Mac down in 9th. Unfortunate for GT Mac, made that error early on, but he has got past Muhammad Ali, Graham Ali on very heavily worn softs. He's going to have to take this to the end of the race now. There is no benefit to coming in and stopping at this point. But a bit of a shame, really, as it looks like. So Sai has been lapped in 12th. Pablo has definitely been lapped. Very odd. Sai has had a mare somewhere. Either that or the game is glitching, because Sai is a lap down on... Well, where is Pablo? So Pablo is there. Okay, so Muhammad Ali has lapped Sai twice. And Pablo has been lapped once, I think. Very odd. Anyway, back up to the front of the grid. As Canados takes us across along the back straight down towards the final hairpin to start to come across the start finish line to start lap 36 and 37, the penultimate lap of this race. And it's been a bit of a serene performance from Canados. Wasn't really fighting at the front end in the early stages, but he quietly went about his business, kept his head down, focused on his strategy, and well, unless he makes a serious mistake between now and the end of the race, I think he's got this one sewn up. Bloomfield not too far back, definitely within striking distance if there is a mistake up ahead. And Shadow again, third place. Obviously now it looks like Carlsberg, yes, Carlsberg down in 9th. Carlsberg has stopped to get onto the hard tyres, and that has given Shadow the freedom and comfort. Toronto Motorsport closing in on the back of Shadow, though. This is going to come down to the last lap, I think, and this could be a feisty battle as Shadow tries to cling on to the podium position, with Toronto Motorsport trying to gain that podium position after a disappointing race, considering he started on pole. He's going to want to make he's going to at least want to taste the champagne at the end of this race, and it is within his sights as he's in the slipstream. That is going to bring him close in the hairpin. He's probably going to sit him behind through the hairpin, looking at how far back he is. Shadow goes a bit defensive down the middle of the track, but this is, if he gets this hairpin right across the start finish line, he is going to be close to looking at a move down into the into turn 1, and Shadow goes a little bit deep, and Toronto Motorsport has got the run on him as they come down the hill round the final corner, and Toronto Motorsport is tucked in behind. I don't think he's close enough, though. I don't think he's close enough. Shadow goes defensive on the inside, going to force Toronto Motorsport round the outside. Shadow stays in the middle of the track as it is right, and he holds that inside line. Toronto Motorsport keeps a tighter line. He's tucked right in behind now. We're on to the last lap of this race, and we have a battle on our hands for the final step on this podium, and Toronto Motorsport all over the back of him. Shadow will only know too well that he is there. It'll be wing mirrors and mirrors full of that NSX, and Toronto Motorsport is certainly doing his very best to put the pressure on, and if he gets that exit right coming out of the left-hander, he's going to have it done in the slipstream, I would imagine. He takes a slightly wider line, cuts inside her, tucks in behind Shadow. We're down the back straight for the final time, and Toronto Motorsport is tucked in behind. Shadow goes defensive, stays on the inside line. Toronto Motorsport moves to the outside as they come down neck and neck into towards the braking zone for the hairpin. Shadow holding the inside line, under braking. Toronto Motorsport round the outside. Shadow holding the inside line. Toronto Motorsport goes deep, but he holds the position. Toronto Motorsport on the final turn, the final hairpin, takes third place. He will taste the champagne. Canados crosses the line to take the win. Bloomfield in second, and Toronto Motorsport with a move around the outside into the final hairpin takes the final step on the podium, with Shadow taking fourth place. Absolutely gutting for Shadow. We thought he had that podium sewn up, but unfortunately Motorsport had other ideas as P. White takes fifth, B. Demon takes seventh from a close sixth from a close follow in Paris. GT Mac takes 8th place, after his spin. Carlsberg in 9th, Muhammad Ali in 10th, Pablo in 11th, and Sai in 12th. And that is all we've got time for. Thank you very much for watching. What a great finish to the race, and we'll see you next week.